to the line. Of course, so many people heard the story this week about Marquette in a league game coming down to New Orleans.
This is meteorologist Mike Bergen, CBS 11 Storm Center. Just wanted to update you on a new tornado warning. That could be a lot of inflow into that storm.
We interrupt our regular programming to activate the North Central Emergency Alert System at the request of the National Weather Service. 6:49 p.m. A severe thunderstorm with a history of producing tornadoes was 17 miles west of Springfield, moving to the east at 35 miles per hour. This is an extremely dangerous storm. In addition to tornadoes, hail the size of softballs and damaging winds to 80 miles per hour.
Blue Wolf and Friends presents Camp Here and There. Episode 45, The Sky is Falling.
The time is, early, maybe. It's hard to tell, but the sun's barely risen yet. Maybe 6 a.m., and I've been brought in by two counselors, woken up and deeply disturbed by, Rowan this morning.
Did Salem wake you? I'm sorry.
No, don't worry. I'd already been up.
All night?
Kind of.
Why's that?
Just thinking on something Sydney asked me last night. It's not important. The date is June 18th. My name is Jedediah A. Martin, assistant nurse and designated tape button presser at Camp Here and There. This is a conflict mediation session. It's taken place in the art cabin despite Salem's hesitation due to what she refers to as the raccoon's ceramic phase. Yet, Marisol refused my office.
Sydney was already up earlier. I'd like to let him sleep instead of filling the nurses' building with our noise.
Right. Well, in accordance with the terms of my employment, I've made myself available as a neutral third party for the oversight of interpersonal conflict, which has grown beyond, I can never remember this part. I'm sorry. Anyway, I am here today with Marisol Yuchenko and Salem Delamonnier to talk about the storm, or not about whether it's real, because apparently we're past that.
We are. Rowan says it's coming. I believe him.
We all believe him. That's not the problem. Didn't you hear what he was saying?
Well...
So, let's move forward with actual planning. Not fear-mongering, not superstition, planning.
You're calling my trauma a superstition?
Okay, let's start by stating names and perspectives, please.
Salem de la Marnière, cabin grasshopper counselor, and frankly, the only safety enthusiast here. I believe the best course of action for the storm is to shelter the campers and staff underground. The tunnels are insulated. They're stable. I've made a list of reinforcements and ways to prevent flooding. We'll seal the entries, we'll post rotations, we'll ration. If the sky goes sideways or the camp completely floods or whatever fun thing will happen this time, the tunnels are the one stable place we can make sure doesn't bend to it.
Right. Thank you. Marisol?
Marisol Yuchenko, also grasshopper counselor and art cabin director. And the tunnels are cursed. Not figuratively. People forget where they are. The paths change. Sydney told me about that experience with his melting mind. And the laughing mold could still be down there. And I feel like we're just forgetting it killed a camper. My camper, mind you.
Our camper, Marisol. I'm not heartless. I feel it too.
You are not as close to him as me, and you know it. I'm not putting 80 more kids down there with a pantry of snacks and a flashlight just because Salem brought a set of instructions. They'll be trapped, they'll be killed, or they'll just be taken by the shifting rocks in some way.
You know what else kills children, Marisol? Debris, falling trees, floodwater. A high visibility field won't do anything when the rain starts whipping so hard it's no different than a gunshot. We need ground. We need unbreakable walls.
You want to build walls around the children with the things that live down there?
I want to build walls against the things coming down on us.
Okay, all right. I don't know what anyone expects me to say here. We've been through 5 storms this year. We've had a heat wave that completely scorched the Western Grove. We've had the cloud jellyfish. We've had the locust salmon. Everyone turned out fine. As fine as it can be, I guess. It's always been peri-apocalyptic.
Rowan says this one isn't like the others.
He always says that. We're supposed to listen to him this time. Why exactly?
Because he cried for 3 hours and vomited into a thermos?
Because in a roundabout way, he's always right. You claim he's saying the same things, but you gotta listen. There's small differences in the way he acts every time.
Forgive me, but I just don't see it.
I've never seen him like this.
He's distressed, yeah. Uncomfortably and painfully distressed, and I feel that. But the content isn't any different.
Trust me, it's worse.
Look, even if it's worse, especially if it is, we need structure, planning. We don't just run around making up solutions out of terror.
Okay, but you did make it up. You decided on your own, this is what we should do. And I know everyone's just gonna nod along because you sound confident. You don't get to override my fear with random logistics.
Rowan suggested it first, you know. The tunnels. He said we should bunker down, reinforce, dig deep.
Rowan also screamed at a wind chime for 6 hours 3 days ago.
He knows things, Marisol. You know he does. And he said tunnels. He was very clear about that.
You can't?
I've got industrial flashlights, schematics, protein bars, and a foolproof buddy system that I've drafted. It's not like I'm doing this half-cocked.
Jedediah, back me up. Wasn't your boyfriend the one who almost died down there?
I don't like to think he almost died. It was a bout of low oxygen. I'm pretty sure. We don't talk about it.
See? Not safe.
For him, I agree, though I have to admit that Sydney is often a edge case when it comes to anomalies. No one else has reported that problem yet.
And do we really know if what Sydney went through is fact or fiction?
Oh, you are not doing this again.
What? Okay, look, I'm just saying Sydney embellishes. That's not a judgment of him. That's history.
It's still what he experiences.
Yes, absolutely. But it says nothing about material safety or points to potential solutions.
A camper died, Salem.
And I am trying to tell you that many more will. You're not offering a counter idea, and we can't exactly sit on our thumbs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all the basements open to the tunnels in some way. We should reinforce an above-ground structure.
And let it get swept away with all of us sitting pretty in it? You heard what Rowan said.
I believe Rowan. Of course I do. And I was the first person to bring him some food when his nose started bleeding raw from the panic this morning. I heard what he was saying, but that doesn't mean every idea that falls out of his mouth is gospel.
But this one makes sense.
To you. Because you like systems you can control. But the tunnels aren't controllable. You can't organize a place that rewrites its own floor plan.
There are workarounds. We label the passages. We don't move an inch more than we have to. We stick to the central ring, post a map, and have one in every camper's hand. And, again, I bring up my buddy system. And I've already talked to Rowan about which areas are safest. He said the eastern branch near the old boiler room bends the least.
I feel like I'm always arguing from a page neither of you are on. Salem, did you actually talk to Rowan?
Yes! He said it might be the only way to keep the camp body intact.
He said that specifically?
Well, he whispered it through a towel, but yes. And then he looked up and said,
It's deeper than us. The ground still listens.
If I'm getting it right, that means we need to be under it, not above it.
Or that means he needs electrolytes.
I don't care what it means. If the ground is listening, I don't want to be inside its mouth.
I don't get it.
Doesn't the fact this is a repeat of our last problem make you think you should take us seriously?
The irony is not lost on me, yes. But let's say there is a storm coming that will actually kill us all, and that our infrastructure is not equipped to deal with it. Shouldn't we just evacuate the camp?
According to Rowan, nowhere is safe. That's part of why he's so scared. You think we should talk to Lucille about canceling the session? At least that way, it's not us who has to worry about the kids.
I don't think so. Seriously, could you get through to her, Jedediah?
I guess she does depend on the finances of camp to help care for Sydney through the year.
Ugh, great.
Why don't...
Yeah, I don't think she'd be keen on refunding all the families, now that I think about it. And we don't have the money like that to make it up.
Didn't you grow up affluent?
Oh, I did, but, I mean...
What happened to all of that?
My father was the breadwinner.
Okay, apologies.
We live on the inheritance, but it's not flexible. Not equipped for emergencies like this.
Why don't we ask Lucille what she thinks we should do? Sans canceling the session.
Well, the storm isn't supposed to hit for another 3 weeks, at least according to Rowan, so we have time to plan.
I don't think she'll listen, honestly. Or care.
Even if you tell her that her own life's in jeopardy?
It wouldn't be the first time I've said that to her. Frankly, I think you two will look like you're crying wolf again.
Right.
I'm honestly a bit shocked you still expect any administrative action from Lucille at this point. I think you're on your own.
Yes, I expected this, and that is why I've drafted the plan.
I still don't believe it's a big deal.
Look, I'm not here for that. I'm here to ask you to talk some sense into Marisol so she backs me up to the other counselors.
Man, you're being so nasty this morning.
Okay, I'm sorry. That was uncalled for.
You're just here to tell me I'm wrong.
No, I'm here because I know what happens when people don't prepare.
You're here because you don't trust anyone else to prepare.
That's not fair.
Isn't it?
No, it's not. And I know what you're getting at. This isn't about the tunnels, is it?
It is. But it's also... Every time we've had a problem, you take over. You show up with a list and a plan and a tone, and everyone follows you. And I get steamrolled. I always do.
Is that true?
I don't mean for it to happen that way. When it's urgent, I act. I have to. I think faster when I don't have to hold a committee vote. That's not malicious. Marisol, that's a wise instinct to keep people safe, because people don't always know how to help themselves.
It still hurts. Even now, this plan you've drawn up, you didn't ask me. You told me. You always tell me. You're always the one making the decisions.
You said you liked that about me.
I like that you took initiative, not that you took over. There's a difference.
Well, when I don't, nobody listens to me either. You think I enjoy shouting over everyone just to be heard?
Salem.
Girls.
No, let me say it. Every single time there's a crisis, it's the same story. I raise a flag and people roll their eyes. I talk proper protocol and I'm a killjoy. I come up with a careful plan, something sensible, and I'm an overbearing butch brute with no empathy. And I always fold when I'm portrayed that way because if I get mad, I'm just proving your point and being the stereotype. You think I'm railroading? Maybe. Maybe sometimes I am, because I have to. Because if I don't, people die, you guys. And yes, I've been brash. I know that. I've said things I shouldn't and I've hurt people, but I take safety seriously because no one else does. No one here respects that.
That's not true.
It feels true. What happened to believing our experiences? I see how people look at me when I bring up a voice of reason. Level-headed ways to approach children, reinforced shelving, food prep, or my buddy system that I'm still very proud of. It's... Look, I know it's not thrilling to have to be this person, and yes, it's invalidating to my peers sometimes, but no one wants to think about tangible risk mitigation. But if we're not doing it, I have to. People want to cuddle up and have a big hug box where everyone's valid and everyone's thoughts matter, and the fact that I don't want that makes me a big bad bitch. And how should I feel when I'm always proven right? The worst happens. People I love are put in danger, get hurt, or worse. And if I say I was right, I'm just rubbing it in. If I try again to enforce those solutions, I'm still a big steamrolling asshole. So tell me, at what point do I need to just ignore the noise and do what's right anyways?
I know how you feel, Salem.
You know I do respect you, right?
I don't always feel like it.
I know. And I'm sorry for that. But you have to admit that it's scary how a camper died. That's not just me being sensitive.
I do think that's scary. I don't think there's a foolproof solution to any emergency. And everything has risks, some really big risks. We're in a fucking apocalypse, for goodness sake, but it does us no good to sit around and panic about it. We work with what we're given and find the best solution, as shitty as it all is.
I admit, I get emotional.
I don't blame you. But coming up with solutions to your worries isn't me trying to invalidate you. It's the opposite, really.
I'm just sensitive to being talked over.
I know.
The stakes are so high.
Hey, I'm sorry for getting irritated with you.
And I'm sorry for the bad faith, Salem. I want to make sure everyone's feeling all right. I also act from an instinct. It's just a different one. I see disaster, and I'm looking for who's scared. I know that's not always productive.
But you stay with them.
Yes, always.
That too is a virtue, Marisol.
Thank you.
Also, I hate Lucille. That old crone. Va-t'en, tu te liste de charmante.
Salem, I know we've played with the idea, but I don't think anyone could leave if they wanted to. You think Rowan wants to be here?
My thoughts too. Him and Juniper both would hightail it if they could.
There's something in the soil.
You all right there, Jedediah?
I'm just dozing off.
Right. Well, the sun's up now, so call that bad timing. You know, Marisol... Okay, this is gonna sound stupid, but... Do you remember that spring? The one where our kitchen window got stuck open?
Yeah, the one that let in all the mosquitoes.
That's the one. You kept saying it wasn't a big deal, that we just light candles and keep the fan going. And it wasn't. I mean, yeah, it wasn't. Not really. But I just couldn't stop thinking about what would happen if it rained. If water started seeping into the frame and warping the wall, or worse, if a short circuit started in the outlet underneath. I mean, that's all it would have taken, you know? Just a little moisture. So I went out and bought that big sheet of plastic and taped it across the whole thing. Inside and out.
I remember. It looked like a quarantine tent.
And I built that little plywood board to wedge against the sill so it wouldn't shake in the wind.
Made it impossible to open the cabinet for a month.
Yeah, but you let me do it, even though it was overkill.
Because I knew you'd sleep better. And honestly, the bites were driving me crazy too.
I kept thinking, if something could go wrong, I had to fix it before it did. It's not about control. I mean, okay, it is, maybe, a little. But not for the sake of power. It's for... love. Really.
I understand that more than you may know.
Do I not know?
Well, no, sorry. I'm very tired. Whoa! Ah, Christ! What was that?
The wind's turning violent. Watch the door!
The man runs outside. The sky above Camp Here and There is no longer one thing. It has split, subtly, like a fault line creeping across porcelain. The man no doubt feels very, very afraid.
The temperature is 79 degrees with light rain. The National Weather Service has issued a weather bulletin. Here's our local Doppler radar.
Today's episode of Camp Here and There was written and directed by Blue Wolf. The role of Jedediah Martin was performed by VoiceBox Vance. The role of Salem de la Marnier was performed by Crystal Lee. The role of Marisol Yuchenko was performed by J.V. Hampton Van Sant. The role of Mystery Man was performed by Jalen Askins, with original music composed by Will Wood and produced by Jonathan Maisto. Additional music composed by Kyle Gabler and Another You. Dialogue edited by Beetle Sprite. Sound design by Blue Wolf and Another You. And a special thanks to patrons for making this possible. Special thanks to V, No I Am Not Sane, Jonathan Sims, and Toaster112 Gaming. To join them and to get behind-the-scenes content like bloopers, development notes, early access to episodes, interactive events, and more, visit the Patreon at patreon.com/bluewolf. You can also join the official Discord server to connect with fellow listeners and discuss the latest episode. Find the link in the description of today's episode. And finally, if you'd like to support the show and ensure we can keep going, the most meaningful thing you can do is to help spread the word. Thank you for listening to Camp Here and There. And remember, a volt is 1 joule per coulomb.